What's going on? Hey, all you kings and queens. I wanted to jump on and talk about the right way to set goals. It's been a while since I've gone live and I kind of forgot this up. So, hey, everyone, we got Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you're watching live, give me a 1 in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. Let me know. Today, I wanted to jump on and talk about the right way to set goals. Now, I know a lot of people that maybe listen to these or watch the replays are big into goal setting. And I know that that is something that I have been obsessed with, especially as I've gotten more serious about my entrepreneurial journey. But even before I started business, I always liked goals. They were just a little more non-professional goals, read a certain amount of books or write this or meditate for this or go to this many yoga classes or whatever it was. I think goals are a really great way to kind of track our life. And for me, I believe that if you're always reaching for something, it just makes things more fun. There's always, the next thing that you can be chasing and going for and seeing that improvement. And I have coached thousands and thousands of agents. If you're new to who I am, I'm Melanie Suber. I run one of the fastest growing teams in the world at eXp Realty. And I have coached thousands of agents. And through this, I see a big mistake that a lot of people make, and that they set goals the wrong way. And that is kind of normal because in society there's like metrics that we like to look at. For example, I'm going to use the real estate one because that's the world that I live in. But if the metric is how many houses sold, or what's your GCI, or what's your, how many leads did you get? And while those are good and very important, and of course, if real estate is your only source of income, you need to track those things so that you know what's going on. However, there are so many problems if these are the only kinds of goals that you're setting, because it stops you from really growing. Now, that might not make sense. So let me kind of zoom out and talk about, this is just something that I've been thinking a lot about recently with the goals that I'm setting. And it's about kind of having smaller metrics. And there's a lot of different reasons to do this. The first reason to have smaller metrics, and I'm going to give you an example in a second, is it keeps you, like I said, having goals is a great way to kind of keep things more exciting. And if it's a goal in an area that is really hard for you, like business is hard for a lot of people, and it is often very hard for me as well, when you have smaller goals, it gives you wins more and it keeps you going longer. So for example, if you're only chasing closed homes, that's going to be much harder than if maybe you're a new agent and you're chasing like, how many pages did I read of a book, or how many days did I text my sphere today, or how many days did I even do something for my business? And your goals can kind of match where you're at, because then you're setting yourself up for success every single day instead of this big goal that's really hard. And to be honest, a lot of that is out of your control. If you give yourself bite-sized goals and ones that are more in your control, it can keep you going. So a big example is these live videos that I do. I try to do them once a week. I've been crazy busy traveling a lot the last couple of weeks. Some people I know would have a goal. Actually, a friend of mine was like, hey, what's your intention of doing these live videos? And the true answer to that was just for me to get my reps in, because I don't really like public speaking that much. And it's something that I want to get better at. And it's something that I want to be a big thing that I do in my future. And this is the easiest way for me to practice in front of a crowd. I know that I can't actually see people, and it's a lot different when you're in front of the actual human beings, but this is the closest thing that I can do without, really disrupting my schedule. We did Toastmasters a while ago, but it was just for a variety of reasons, we couldn't really commit to it. So this is the next best thing. And so for me, the metric is just, am I showing up? Am I doing it? And getting that practice in and getting more comfortable. And through that, the pass fail or the success rate is, did I do it? Check yes or no. And then after I do it, do I watch it and kind of critique myself on the filler words that I use, on how I'm moving my hands, on my comfort? I assess it based on how comfortable I am, all of those things, which are much more in my control and much easier, to be honest, to have those success rates than if I measured it by how many people watch, how many clients I get from it, how many watch time, how much views, like hours people watch of it, whatever it is, all of these things that, one, are much harder, and two, a lot of them are out of my control. then if that's the metric that I'm measuring for, if I showed up once and nobody watched, or only 2 people watched, or only 4 people watched, or whatever it is, I would consider myself a failure. And then that affects the self-talk that I give myself. That affects how likely I am to show up the next time. And it just spirals in that direction. So again, my metric was just for all of this, and I'm being fully transparent. I'm doing this for practice. I love helping people. If this does help people along the way, that's fantastic. My biggest goal is just to help as many people as possible. I figure if it's something I'm dealing with or learning through, there's probably someone else out there that is dealing with it and learning through it as well. So that is an amazing side effect and hidden benefit, we call that in the copywriting world. But the main metric that I'm measuring this by is how comfortable I am and how often I do it, and maybe how well it goes. But that's kind of made up based on just my own critique. So that doesn't really count. And I say this to say, because so many people, and again, I've coached thousands of agents, and I see them making so much progress in ways that they aren't measuring, and it gets them down. For example, if they're only measuring how many houses they've closed, but they're not measuring how often they show up on social media, how comfortable they are, the confidence that they have in themselves, the clarity that they have in the path that they need to take in order to reach their goals, all of those things that are things that they can be making objective progress on. But if they're only tracking the metric of how many houses did I close, they're going to feel really bad about themselves. It's going to make them less confident. It's going to make them less likely to keep doing the things that are working. And that negative spiral works in the opposite direction. So my challenge for you today is whatever goals you're setting, try to break them down. There are some goals. And for example, in the real estate world, you do want to track how many houses you're selling because that's what the job is. However, there's different goals and different metrics for different stages that you're in. When you're a brand new agent, you don't need to be measuring yourself only on how many houses you've sold. Later, once you are comfortable and once you are doing things consistently, and so you have the confidence and have the clarity and all of those things, then you can start looking at, okay, what are the actual conversion rates? When I send out an email, how many people open it? How many people click on it? How can I improve these conversion rates? That is absolutely, I definitely am recommending that you do those things. But my point is, there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place for the conversion metrics, which is what I like to call them. And then there's a time and place for the just learning metrics, which is how often am I doing this? How comfortable do I feel when I do this? Just getting yourself into the habit of doing this before you have to judge yourself on how many people commented on it, liked it, how many clients did I get from it, how many clicks did I get, how many views, whatever that is. So my challenge for you, if you're starting anything new, give yourself some grace, give yourself some slack, and set easier metrics for yourself, because I promise you, it will encourage you to show up more, and it will be easier. Humans like to succeed. Like, it's so hard to set goals for yourself that are really impossible to achieve. So I say this all the time. If you're starting a YouTube channel for the first time, do not expect 10,000 subscribers in your first week. It's just not going to happen. And if that's what your metric is that you're measuring for, you're going to feel so bad about yourself, and you're going to hate YouTube, and you're going to quit. And then you're never going to get to 10,000 followers. But if your goal is, I just want to learn how to edit, I just want to get comfortable on camera, I just want to practice speaking without filler words, I just want to figure out what to do with my hands when I'm talking, whatever your goal is, if you make it something that is specific to you and it is so much more attainable, then you can just go until you get to that goal, and you'll have the positive feelings that will keep you going. And then once you have that and you feel comfortable on camera in this example, then you can be like, okay, now how can I make my thumbnails more clickable, or what can I do with my titles or the SEO or whatever it is? Then you can look at the next step. But if you're just brand new to YouTube and you don't know how to be on camera, and you've never made a video, you've never edited it, give yourself some slack, let yourself be in the learning phase before you get to the conversion phase. So something I've been thinking about. Hope that this helped. If you want more, I have longer videos on my YouTube channel, whatever platform you're watching this on, go check it out, Melanie Super. And if there's ever anything I can do to help, please let me know. I am obsessed with helping people just in general. So remember, you're all kings and queens, and abundance is your birthright, and I will see you at the top. Talk to you soon.